Welcome to iCart, the app that allows you to customize your store's shopping cart to improve your average order value and general revenue. iCart allows you to add different widgets, upsells, and discounts to the shopping cart so that each customer spends more on every order. In this video, I will take you through setting up your first cart with iCart and optimizing it to improve average order value. After installing the app, you will reach this onboarding page where you can either watch an onboarding video, which you might have clicked if you're watching this video right now, or click customize your cart to get started. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you click the Customize Your Cart button, you are automatically redirected to this cart page builder. Now, let's go over the cart page builder and see exactly how iCart works and what we can do with it. I will show you how to use the page builder and the general default cart settings, but we are not going to go over each section and each widget. Each one of these will have a separate video for themselves. So when we look at the page builder, first of all, to the left you can see the settings side, and in here you have the widgets and the general settings. General settings control, just as it says, the general settings of your cart, things like the text of the header, the maximum number of widgets to display, which we will touch on later, your cart bubble settings, different things that are important but not relevant to a specific widget. And then in the widget settings, you can actually see the different items in your cart and add or remove sections. We have the cart items and the checkout button. These are both default built-in widgets in your cart that you can obviously not remove because they are necessary for the checkout process, but you can go in there and edit them and add upsells to each one of these sections. So for example, if you look at the default cart, you will see the products that the customer has already added to the cart, and I can edit what the customer sees, the color, the options that he has here. But you can also see here a product that is not yet added to the cart with an add button. This product comes from an upsell that is attached to the cart items. You can see something very similar in the checkout button. We have here a checkbox upsell, a gift wrap option, and this is another upsell that is attached to the checkout directly. Now again, I will not go over each of these and their settings because we will have separate videos, but just so you know, you can add either upsells that are attached to the cart items and to the checkout button, or upsells that are completely unattached to anything and are free in the cart for you to edit. And this is what we see here, the product upsell. So when I click one of these, I go into the editing settings for the specific widget or section. And when I click these three dots, the 6 dots, I can actually move them around to make things higher or lower than other widgets. And I can add another section. So these are the options that we have right now. We have a product upsell, which you can see right here. We have an image with text, custom HTML, and checkout button, which you can see here. We want to give you the option to add more than one checkout button if you want to. For example, you can have one button at the bottom and one at the top over here, or you can have one right in the middle if you have a very long cart with a lot of widgets. Lastly, in the widgets area, you can hide a widget so it does not show at the cart at all. And when you go into the widget, you have something that we call rules. And rules that you can see here allow you to define what cards are eligible for this widget and for this discount. For example, let's say we want to show this product upsell only for cards that are over $100 in value. We can go into rules and add a new one, and then we have the parameter. In this case, I'm going to choose cart sum, but as you can see, you have a few different parameters. Again, this is something we will do a whole video explaining, so I'm not going to go into depth about it, but it's pretty clear just from reading these titles. So if the cart sum is greater than $100, I want this upsell to show up. Otherwise, I do not want it to show up. So you can create a different set of rules to each widget. I can also say the cart has to be over $100, or the number of items in the cart are more than 10 items. So now, if one of these rules is met, this will show up. But in this case, we do not want to set any rules, we just want to give any order this product upsell in the cart. Lastly, this button over here takes you back to the iCart dashboard. We will click it very soon once we finish setting everything up. Now moving to the right section of the page, we have a preview here of the store with the cart. Now if I click the mobile preview here, I can see the mobile preview, and as you can see, it is a full page cart on mobile where the customer can actually exit and reopen it when he wants to. If you close the cart, you can view the cart bubble over here to see what it looks like in your actual store, and you can save the template once you are done. So this is the page builder. It is very intuitive and clear on how to work with. But let's talk a little bit about the shopping cart, the default shopping cart that we create for you when you first install the app. We want to make it as easy for you as possible, so we do some of the optimizations that we think would work best for your store, but you can change it before publishing the app. So first of all, we have the cart items. If I click it, I can see the settings area over here for this widget, for this section. Now you have control over everything that you see here. You can change this text or even remove it. You can decide what to show to the customer: images, description, prices. You can change the colors and the text, as well as change the color of the remove button and the text, and decide if you want to show a quantity picker. Of course, the product upsell here that we talked about, you can scroll all the way down and see it and decide if you want to remove it or not. Now I'm going to keep it, but if I go inside here, I want to change the button to the actual color of buttons for my store so that it actually fits my store design. Okay, better. For the product upsell, just so you know, the recommendation for this product upsell as well as for this one over here come from Shopify recommendations. Now they rely very heavily on product collections, so if your customer is adding a product that is not a part of a collection, you might not see these widgets at all because Shopify do not return a recommendation. So if you know you don't have a collection set up properly in your store, you might use a different tactic to show product recommendations. For example, you can select a specific product or a random product from a specific collection or from a specific product tag. But I'm going to get back to the Shopify recommendations over here. Now scrolling down, we have the product upsell, and as you can see, the product upsell also has a timer. So this is a time-sensitive offer, and when the timer runs out, it is expired and the customer can no longer use it. You can decide to completely remove this timer or change the settings, the text, everything is in your control. I'm going to leave all the settings as is and just change the colors for the timer and the button to actually fit my store colors. And lastly, let's go to the checkout button and just change the colors for the checkout button as well. And the cart is pretty much ready. Now again, as I mentioned, you can play around with it, add some upsells, remove some upsells, and maybe add image with text, whatever you want. But I'm going to keep the automatic default cart. You can also change the discounts that you give. It's really all up to you. Before we save and move on, I want to go back to something I mentioned in general settings. We have the maximum number of widgets to display. Now this is something that can be important if you plan on adding a lot of widgets with different rules. Let's say you've added 20 widgets and each one of them has a different rule to when this widget will display or not. You want to make sure that if 10 of these widgets fit the same cart and the same customer, they don't necessarily all show up. You don't want to overwhelm the customer with too many discounts and actually take him away from the checkout process. Because this is the cart and we want him to actually finish the purchase, we don't want to give him too many distractions. We want him to focus on the checkout. So what you can do here is decide the maximum number of widgets to display, and this does not include the cart items or the checkout. It only includes the widgets that we add as upsells. So the default is 11, and this is also the maximum, but maybe you only want to show up to 3 widgets. So you can change it around and play with it to what fits your needs. Of course, if you've only added 1 or 2 widgets, maybe this is completely irrelevant. This is only if you play around with rules and you want to make sure your customers do not get overwhelmed. Now, the widgets that will be shown are the first ones. We will go over them from top to bottom, and the bottom ones will be discarded when showing the cart. Now that we've understood the shopping cart and the page builder, there's only one last thing that we need to change, and that is the bubble. As you can see right here, the color does not fit my store at all. So when I scroll down in general settings, I can change the icon, which I don't really want to do, but I can also change the bubble color. There we go. Now you can also change its location if you want to. I'm actually going to put it to the bottom right, and don't forget to change the padding over here. I like to put it at 10 pixels each, so it doesn't stick to the bottom and to the right, but play around with it and see what looks good to you. Now I'm going to save it. And now that it's all saved, let's exit the page builder and activate the app. So you can now see the iCart dashboard, and the first thing we need to do is actually enable iCart so that this cart actually applies on the actual storefront. Now that iCart is successfully enabled, customers will see this optimized cart when they proceed to checkout. The rest of the things that you can actually see on the dashboard are the active template, and you can view your cart here, you can preview it, and you can customize it, which will take you to the page builder again. Scrolling down, you can actually see some of the app analytics, and you can see here the revenue generated by the app as well as the orders generated by the app. Now, it is important to note that we only count revenue and orders that come from a customer accepting an offer from the cart. So if a customer added an item to the cart and proceeded to checkout without accepting any of the iCart offers, they will not be counted as conversions from iCart. Scrolling down, you can see some more general analytics like ROI, cart impressions, etc. And when you look down here, you can see your actual widgets, and each widget has its impressions, click, revenue, click-through rate, and conversion rate, because we want you to be able to actually know which widgets work best for you so that you can make smart decisions about changes to the cart and what you actually want to show your customers. Now that iCart is completely set up and we are done, let's go ahead and see it in action in the actual store. So this is my store. It's not the prettiest because it is a test store, but when I scroll down, I see some products. Let's go ahead and add a product to the cart, and we can see our beautiful optimized shopping cart in here. So we can see the product that we've actually added with the option to edit the quantity or even remove the product. We can also see the product upsell that we added. These are the Shopify dynamic recommendations. And we can choose the variant, click add to add it to our cart. You can also see the discount that iCart provided for this product. When we look down, we can see the product upsell with the timer, and a different product is recommended here by the Shopify product recommendations. You can play around with the quantity and add it to the cart as well. And then lastly, we have the option to add a gift wrap. And as you can see, when I add any of the upsells, the total also changes. And let's just add the gift wrap and go ahead to checkout. This is it. We are at checkout with the gift wrap and the product that we added to the cart. And from now on, the customer can just buy this case with an added almost $5, but he might have accepted another offer and actually added quite a lot into the cart. So this is the iCart onboarding video. You now know how to set up a shopping cart that actually converts customers. I hope this was clear, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to us on the live chat support, email, or even phone. We would love to help you. And if you want to learn more about the different settings for each of the widgets, feel free to check out our help section and help video to learn exactly how to use it. Good luck optimizing your cart, and we're looking forward to see you making a lot of money with the different upsells inside it.